Gemara says in Maseches Talmud that Alexander Mukdam traveled around. He came to a certain place and he met the Ziknei Dorim, I think it was. The Talmid Chachamim of the south of Eretz Yisrael, and he asked them different questions. One of the question is, Ma deina trastun lekivli. How is it that you have chutzpah towards me? I'm not sure if it means they talked with chutzpah. I don't think they did. There is a halacha of kavod malchus, even to a Goyishke king, the Gemara says. But I would say it means that their body language and the niggin of the way they talked showed that they're sure of themselves and they don't feel inferior towards a great king of the whole world like Alexander Mukden. How is it that you're like that? But I'm the king of the world, so how could you act like that? How can you feel that way towards me? That Alexander's the king, but we're also something. How is it that you're like that? Nobody else acted like that towards him. So they answered him, Sitna Notzach, the Satan was Menatzeach. Your kingdom, that you're a king over the whole world, doesn't mean anything. It just means that this Satan was successful. That's all it means. So because of that, we should feel inferior because the Satan was successful. That's what the Gemara says, and we're living in a time when the Satan was successful. So you can understand with the whole. With everything that I'm saying, that how could a boy go do such a thing, take off his yarmulke and go without a yarmulke? You can understand it. This Satan was successful. So why should you go around looking like a Fruma Yid if you could go around looking like what the Satan wants you to look? The Satan says, go look like a guy, it'll be much better. So why should you look like a Jew? The Satan was Menatzeach. That's the Nisayon. And that's why that happens. But we the Yoshvei Beis HaMedrash, who knows what kind of influence it had in places in the subconscious where we don't even know. That may be. L'mashal, there's a Yisr called Bittul Torah. It's cold in our eyes. We have a kriros. We're cold towards it. Who says maybe it comes from this whole situation that, what do you mean you're going to be mevatel Torah? So what? There's a world out there also, and the world can live without Torah. So I can live for a few minutes without Torah. Maybe there is such a feeling deep down inside of us. And because of that, we understand what Ramad Hypag-Romansky meant, that the last tkufa that we're going through, that's a tkufa of Nisayon. It's not a tkufa of persecution, it's a tkufa of seeing what the Navi Malachi calls B'morchem kolosei ra tov be'einei Hashem. Ad kedei kach. Those that do bad are good in that. Whoever can say such a thing? Maybe we can say people can be weak, people can be lazy, but to go say to Osei Raz Tov B'nei Hashem, that means to say that those that do right, they have a place in the world. They are a world in itself. I always say, what does it mean, a modern person? A Fruma Yid that's modern. What does that mean? What's the difference? How do you define such a person? I always say it's somebody that he says that of course there's Torah, of course there's mitzvahs, of course it's the most important, but the world is also a world. That's what you call modern. And I know, I have even friends, or maybe one friend that's like that. I know people that are like that. The world is a world. No, The world is not a world. The world is only a cliche to worship Hashem. Yeah, it's all right. You could go to work a whole day. You could work 11 hours a day. But you have to have a kviyasitim la Torah, 1 hour a day of Torah. Without, there's no such thing as being mevatel. And that's called, that's the milchama against kolot seira tov b'nei Hashem. The eighth is we have to always tell ourselves another nafkamina, which I just remembered it. We in the frum world, in the Haredi world, there's such a thing as parties. There's Agudas Yisrael, there's Degoat Torah, now there's eight. We have a party, we're also something. We have representation in the Knesset. And it's a union. It's something that people talk about. The truth should be that who cares, the whole thing over there, the whole house over there. It's a beis havad yil is news, the Gemara says. And after the Mashiach, it's going to come a time that the beis havad, the place where people gather together, yil is news. It's going to be snooze. What is this? Snus has to be mamish snus pshuta. Snus means you go out of the regular path. That's snus. Velosa suru achrei levavchem, to turn. Rashi says velosa suru milosh natorim eshoret. They went to spy the land. That's velosa suru. We're going to spy at the place where you go spying into Olam Hazeh to see how much Olam Hazeh can we bring into this Eretz HaKodesh over here. That's the Beis Havad, that's the Knesset. And there's a feeling, we also have something there, we also have a party there. Comes along another group and says, what? You, only you? We also have, we have eight. We're eight, we're also something. The whole thing is one big Beis Havad Yelisnus. What does it have to do with us? What do we have to be there for? There could be a Rabbi Yodua there, Rabbi Reuven Grazovsky wrote a country's Bios Asman. So he wrote that all we need to representation there is just to fight them. To fight our wars, not to let them be gozer on us gzeras, but to be happy that we have something. We have our party. I don't know. I asked this kasha many years ago when Degoat Torah broke off from Agudas Yisrael. I said, what's Degoat Torah? The B'nai Torah. B'nai Torah need a party. B'nai Torah care that they're near Dofim, that they're in Skupa and dresses. We have a Gemara, we have Tashis. What more do we need? We're not lonely. We're not people that we're not somebody don't have. We're together. The Balei Atashis are living with us. We're living with them. Rabbeinu Tam is here with us. Rashi is here with us. We care what we have over there. Well, why should we have such thoughts? So let the Hasidim have a good Yisrael, and we'll tag along after them. Who cares? But they were Gedolim. I said that, but then I know you weren't allowed to think different in those days. But then I heard that there were quiet Talmidei Chachomim in Bnei Brak that they also said like me, but they were shut up and they kept quiet. They saw it's better to keep quiet. I'm saying all this is from the influence of the success of Rishonim that we're living in. And another thing, even mamish inside the base medrash of sitting and learning, who says, I grew up with this machshava that it was mamish ingrained in me. We have to sit and learn to become something. You have to become something. Become a Rashiva, become a Magichir, become a Talmid Chacham. But the truth is like this. Just imagine you have a great king, Ein Sof, Moshe and Hashem, and he gives you this chus every day to come and serve him or some way to be miscarved him. Imagine a Gemara of 10 lines. You're taking and you're serving Hashem, and He's willing to accept it, to accept the serving that you're serving Him. And the Tanya says in the beginning of the Tanya in Parakeh, this is a hiskarvus, that there's no more closer than this. Isn't that enough? What do you have to think about being something? And then after be sad about it that you didn't become something and I didn't do enough to become. Who cares what? Be a failure. You could be 50, 60 years of a failure. You were zocha today to learn one piece of Gemara. You should jump from Simcha the whole day and the whole night. And this machshava is the biggest melchoma against that koach hara, because the whole koach hara of the nisayon of the last generation is, oh, the goyim have something. We have to have something. Till now we were in Golos, we didn't have anything. What do you mean? First of all, what did it mean we didn't have anything? We had batei knesiyos and batei midrashos. It says in the end of Shir Hashirim that in the end of the Golos, so Hashem is going to ask, what's with my people? The goyim are going to say, Ha'elef l'cha shlama, u'masayim l'notrim espirio. They're going to pay back everything they took away, and they're going to pay a chomish. They're going to add u'masayim l'notrim espirio. The notrim espirio, those that they watch the fruits of the garden. Who are they? The Talmidei Chachomim, the Bnei Torah. Those are called the notrim espirio. And the next pasuk says, Hayosheves ba'ganim, those that they sit in the gardens, chaverim makshivim lekolech, the malachim, they're called the chaverim, they're listening to your voices. So what do you need anything else? What's missing? You have everything. You need a party, you need a degat. That's, I would say maybe, b'derech hefsher, that's an indirect influence of this whole situation that we're living in, of the hatzlach of the Rishonim. So we also need something. Hashem should help. So it's maybe very important to know all this, to have this understanding, and not be like the ant that's living in a hole and he thinks that's the whole world. Hashem should help that we should go out of the Golos, the Gula Shlema should come b'karov, and when we should forget about all this talk, and we'll be zochev to v'nigla kvod Hashem v'ro kol basar yachtov ki pi Hashem diber.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi Kaplan, for your divrei history and hizuk. Thank you very much.